Matthew Stafford will get the ball first. The Rams won the toss, deferred, decided to kick off and give the ball to the Lions, Tim, to start this game.
Yeah, and injury and suspensions, obviously, at the running back position will push Kevin Smith into the starting role. Calvin Johnson, as I said, the best in the business, finished last year so strong. Those tight ends give him a lot of versatility. And then the offensive line back together again, and one of very few groups in the NFL that is returning all 5 starters.
The noise level going up here as rookie kicker Greg Zuerlein is ready to boot it to Stephon Logan.
This guy has got a bomb leg. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing goes through the uprights.
Logan's only career kickoff return for a touchdown, 105 yards, came against the Rams a couple of seasons ago. In 2012, it's underway for the Rams and Lions. And 53% of the kicks were returned last year when they moved it to the 35-yard line, and that's where we'll start, as this one is not returned. So from the 20-yard line, the youthful Rams and that front four led by Chris Long, whose sack total has increased each year he's been in the league, 13.5 last year.
Yeah, incredible for a team that scored 12 points a game. Robert Quinn is really feeling it at the right side. Much improved at the outside linebacker position. James Laurinaitis, new contract, the quarterback of that defense. And here's where I think they're much better on the back end. Cortland Finnegan in free agency, and then the rookie Janoris Jenkins, who I promise you from a talent level is the real deal.
A fake to Nate Burleson, who carries across the 25-yard line. We talked about the noise here, and the Lions sent out an email to their fans asking them to make noise at the right times and thank them for realizing when to be quiet when the Lions needed it on offense.
Yeah, sometimes if you get a fan base and a crowd that's not used to winning a lot of games and being in a lot of games, they got to understand when to cheer and when to sit down. They're figuring it out here in Detroit.
They'll make noise when their team gets to the end zone. Kevin Smith the back at 2nd and 4. Stafford. Sidearms the first down completion at the 30-yard line to Calvin Johnson. When you look at film, as Matthew Stafford said, we have something we call the power of Calvin that helps them score points like that.
Well, we all know how good Calvin is, but it's all the other receivers, and they're all dynamic. Every guy at a skilled position in the receiver corps is boosted by the power of Calvin Johnson, and Stafford knows how to find it.
Fresh set of downs for the Lions on their opening drive as Kevin Smith carries. And an extra effort gets 7.5 yards. And the running game is an area with 2 of the guys they thought they might have, Michael LaShore and Javad Best, out of the picture, so they go back to him. His first opening day start since 2009.
And they have no problem going with Kevin Smith. He was such a great story last year, and 7 touchdowns and only 4 starts when he came in. Did have the ankle injury, but they are a spread running attack. We have a fullback on the team. Whoever's playing fullback is a tight end.
All right, Logan comes in, splits out as a receiver way on the left. They gave him a 6-yard pickup on first down. Quick toss to the tight end. Will Heller has another Lions first down.
Well, and if anybody's a fullback in their offense, like I said, they don't have one on the roster. It's that 275-pound, 10-year veteran, Will Heller, who has a big role as an H-back, tight end, fullback. That time they went empty, which means no backs in the backfield, 5 out, and the St. Louis Rams chose to rush only 3 players, dropped 8 in coverage, couldn't make the tackle before the first down step.
Calvin Johnson splits out to the left. Quick pass. That's caught by Burleson. Dragged down just across the 45-yard line. Cortland Finnegan made the play on Burleson.
Well, we've seen a lot of these in watching tape, and it's going right here to Nate Burleson in the slot. But watch the block. If these are going to work, the wide receiver's got to block. So Calvin Johnson with that big body gets out in front, gets his hands on Bradley Fletcher and pushes him back. Cortland Finnegan had to lay out and make the tackle for about a 6-yard gain.
Finnegan, the longtime Titan who played under Jeff Fisher, a quick free agent signee for the Rams to help bring attitude to this young Ram defense. 17 rookies on the Ram roster, youngest team in the league here on opening day. That's Logan. Bottled up at the 45. And it looks like the first third down situation here.
Well, that was really well played by Cortland Finnegan. And I think when you look at the Lions, if they see two deep safeties and they know there's an opportunity to run the ball, Matthew Stafford at the line of scrimmage is going to get to the run call. And that time he turned and handed it to the running back. They did not fool Cortland Finnegan, who was in a great position to make that tackle.
Need to get across the 50 for a first down. 3rd and 4.
Under pop.
Pressure coming. Stafford's pass complete for a first down. Tony Scheffler.
The beauty of a quick decision maker and a guy that can see the blitz in Matthew Stafford is he's going to put the blitz beater on. And I think when you look over here, you're going to see right here the blitzer come in Cortland Finnegan, and then you see the slant route from the slot receiver Tony Scheffler right in front of it.
And a no huddle to the line goes Matthew Stafford, and the Rams jump.
Free play. Now they're going to blow it dead.
There is a flag.
You know what I mean? I mean, you try to blitz Stafford from the slot, he's going to see it. He knows where his hot read is, where his blitz beater is, and he's going to get it there before the safety could cover it up.
Our replacement referee is Donovan Briggins. Our first flag of the day.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 98. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That is on Kendall Langford.
And a guy that I think you look at free agency this year in the offseason for the St. Louis Rams. They knew they had to get better at defensive tackle. They drafted Michael Brockers in the first round, who's hurt today with a high ankle sprain out of LSU, but not before they got Kendall Langford from the Miami Dolphins in free agency. So a clear ambition to upgrade the D tackles.
And Darrell Scott, who had played well in the preseason in that interior part of Jeff Fisher's defense, also out with a knee injury. Brocker's a 3 to 4 week stretch. They hope Scott can return. Matt Conrath, a rookie from Virginia, inactive. Somebody who could have helped inside.
We've already seen Jeff Fisher dial up that blitz, which Matthew Stafford busted.
Right.
Expect the unexpected big picture with Jeff Fisher today. He may try anything, offense, defense, and special teams in this game.
Complete. Another first down. That's Pettigrew. So Stafford has sprayed the ball around on this opening drive that has consumed 5 minutes. And it's 1st and 10 Lions.
Well, we talked about the power of Calvin and what Calvin does. Here's Pettigrew. I'd love to line up next to this guy, Calvin Johnson, because Pettigrew is going to get usually a lot of space to make catches. And when you talk about that area of the field, right around the numbers, this area between the hash and the numbers, Brandon Pettigrew will own that as long as he lines up next to Calvin.
Kevin Smith out of the 26-yard line before James Laurinaitis, leading Ram tackler again last year with a new contract, made the tackle.
Well, and when you're going with a team that you know loves to pass, and the Lions led the league in passing, as a pass rusher, you go up the field. And that just opens the door for the little turnaround handoff to Kevin Smith.
An impressive opening drive. Nothing deep down the field yet for Stafford on 2nd down. 10th play of the drive. Stafford throws, completes. That's Smith. Inside the 20.
Well, they already had success with the Z reverse to Nate Burleson, right? So here they put the ghost Z reverse action with Nate Burleson. Great call by Scott Linehan right there, the offensive coordinator, and then throw a screen out to the opposite side with Kevin Smith, who gets the first down. That guy right there, Scott Linehan, and the more this NFL has gone to the passing game, I think the more he shines as a play caller. He is really bright in offensive concepts.
Former Ram head coach who was fired in St. Louis and settled in here as the offensive coordinator. Stafford ends up high and incomplete. That was for Pettigrew, who stands 6'5", just like Calvin Johnson.
Well, and the Rams are in cover 2 defense, which is 2 deep safeties, which means James Laurinaitis is the guy that's in charge of the middle of the field. When you watch number 55, James Laurinaitis, getting his drop, Matthew Stafford sees him there. He also sees the safety over the top. Good decision by Stafford to overthrow it, but very good job first off by James Laurinaitis in coverage.
Yeah, first incompletion for Stafford. He's 6 out of 7 on this drive. Logan is in at running back on 2nd and 10. Pressure coming. Picked up, throw, wide open in the middle. Will Heller. First and goal, Lions. With all the weapons, Will Heller's probably the last guy you're worried about if you're the Rams.
Yeah, that's a guy you're probably not even thinking about covering. Watch this, though. There is the key. Molleying out, kicking out as a pass protector out on the edge. Chris, you don't see that a lot in pro football with the center bouncing all the way out to the edge to pick up a rusher. Raiola was able to achieve it, which gave Stafford the time to unload it to a wide open Will Heller.
First and goal from the 3-yard line. Stafford intercepted. Janoris Jenkins all the way out to the 35-yard line. And that'll quiet the folks here at Ford Field. On a first and goal.
I have no idea what Matthew Stafford was looking at. He blindly threw that right into double coverage. He saw double coverage to the left on Calvin. I guess he didn't realize it was to the right as well. Janoris Jenkins stepped right in front of Tony Scheffler for the interception.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Rookie Janoris Jenkins interception sets up the Rams. First and 10. Steven Jackson met hard. Jenkins, the rookie, the second-round draft pick, with a big move as Stafford was going to the end zone.
Well, and let me tell you, this is brilliant because this is what Stafford was looking at. He thought he had man coverage. You got a smaller corner against a big tight end. But watch Quentin Michael come give support behind. It ends up being double coverage. Janoris Jenkins then can be aggressive, at the point of attack, and he jumps in front of it and makes a terrific play. Matthew Stafford did not anticipate that physical, aggressive double coverage over there in the corner.
Jackson goes down again. Here comes a flag. First run, Jackson no gain. Second run didn't go anywhere.
This is
Holding. Offense number 59. 5-yard penalty. Second down. Corrected. 10-yard penalty. 10-yard penalty.
And a major hold on Rob Turner, who got the start at left guard on that remade offensive line.
Yeah, and he will have his hands full right there at the left guard spot against Corey Williams, who is an animal in terms of his ability to shed and disengage guys and really physically outmuscle them. And you saw it right there as he was trying to disengage and throw Turner. He took him to the ground. This D-line is a major, major challenge, Chris, today for these Rams offensive linemen.
Screen to Jackson. Steven Jackson across the 35-yard line gets some of that penalty yardage back. It'll bring up third down and 9. Crowd making it difficult on Bradford. We barely had an opportunity to set the Ram offensive lineup with Jackson, the Rams' all-time leading rusher, taking a breather here after that 12-yard gain.
Chris, we're going to see all of those rush slowdown plays throughout this game. The screens, the draws, the move in the pocket for the quarterback to help his offensive line against that dominant front.
Complete. Amendola, first down in Lions territory. Danny Amendola, who hurt his elbow after the first game last year and was out for the rest of the season, is back and the go-to guy for Bradford.
Well, he is the security blanket for Sam Bradford and does most of his work between the numbers as he does here. They got man coverage, which means run away from the defender. Jacob Lacey was in a trail position on Danny Amendola. It's a big shot in the arm for the Rams and the quarterback, Sam Bradford, getting him back.
Gain of 15, first and 10 Rams. Their first possession after the interception of the Stafford throw. Bradford to throw. Goes underneath. That's Lance Kendricks. We mentioned Steven Jackson in the backfield with Sam Bradford, who has been beat up, as you know, over the last couple of years, but told us he is healthy. His ankle is fine.
And he will be much better in this system. Back to the West Coast principles with Brian Schottenheimer. Steven Jackson, 7 consecutive years, over 1,000. Capable receivers for sure. Scott Wells, huge addition. at center, getting him from the Green Bay Packers. He'll be a big asset to Sam Bradford as well in terms of helping with the protection calls.
They need 2. Jackson fights hard, doesn't get the first down. It'll be 3rd and short. Sammy Hill making the stop. Part of an 8 or 9 man deep defensive line, the best group in football, highlighted by the fiery Kyle Vanden Bosch and Dominican Sue, and Cliff Averill led the team in sacks last year with 11.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how Sue does this year. Down year last year in terms of the sacks, 10 his rookie year, only 4 last year. They are a dominant group, though, and then the linebackers led by Stephen Tulloch. I call him a little London Fletcher of the Washington Redskins. He's awesome, and frankly, that's a backup secondary.
3rd down, Jackson, first down. Fights his way inside the 35-yard line. Justin Durant makes the tackle, and that Lions secondary, without Louis Delmas, who hadn't played all preseason, and also without Chris Houston, an ankle injury.
And watch the blocking by the offensive line. Tight splits right there, which tells me that's where the ball is going. And Steven Jackson, such a great jump cutter. Doesn't see anything outside, puts his left foot in the ground, and is able to pick up the first down.
From the 34 of the Lions. 1st and 10 Rams. Jackson makes his way for a yard and a half maybe. Steven Jackson, 7 straight 1,000-yard seasons. The guy has never played on a winning team his entire career with this Ram organization.
What an awesome guy, though, when you sit and talk to him, and you think about that. And I asked him, well, why have you not tried to force your way out or force a trade and everything you've been able to achieve, yet never on the winning side of the ledger at the end of the season? He said, that's not the way I was raised. Mom and Dad told me, you start something, you finish it, and he is determined to finish it on a high note with the Rams. He's still got a lot of gas left in the tank.
They want to finish this drive on 2nd down 9. Bradford floats one towards the sideline and out of bounds. Steve Smith was in the area, the former Giant and Eagle.
Well, you're going to get a flag on the bottom of the screen. Brandon Gibson looked like it was some illegal contact down in the left-hand corner as Bill Bentley just put his hands all over him. On the opposite side of the field.
The ball was thrown down the right sideline. The 2 flags are on the side inside the 10-yard line of the Lions. If you just tuned in, opening drive, 77 yards, the Lions on the move, but an interception. Rookie Janoris Jenkins picked off Stafford, returned it 34 yards. That gave the Ram offense the football, and they have marched into Lion territory.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense number 11. 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the previous spot. The down counts, 3rd down.
There they are down the left side, and there it is right there. So it wasn't illegal contact. Bill Bentley did have his hands on him, but Brandon Gibson clearly agitated and makes a big mental error.
And that is huge because now it's 3rd and 24.
Yeah, you can right out of field goal range.
Take a shot at a 3-pointer here.
No, they got to get back those penalty yards just to get back in field goal position.
Complete. Amendola down to the 30-yard line. So they don't get the first down, but they'll have a chance at maybe a 37, 48-yard field goal after a gain of 17.
And Sam Bradford just got walloped by Cliff Averill as he was unloading that ball.
All right, so Greg Zuerlein, 6th-round draft pick. We were watching him in pregame warm-ups. He made a 60-yarder with room to spare. First Ram rookie place kicker since the mid-90s.
Jeff said he's going to break the record eventually of 63 yards, and it won't be in Denver. This guy's leg is huge.
Will be a 48-yard try. Rookie holder is the punter, John Hecker, and the kick is up and through. And the underdog Rams at Ford Field for Jeff Fisher in his Ram head coaching debut take a turnover and turn it into 3. You're watching the NFL on Fox where the Lions trail the Rams 3-0. Two of the 17 rookies on this Ram roster setting up the Rams. Janoris Jenkins with the interception, and then Greg Zuerlein the field goal. Now kicking off with the Rams leading 3-0. Logan once again will down it in the end zone. So Matthew Stafford and the offense will take over at the 20. Some tough hits already delivered in this game. And the underdog Rams with the early lead. Lions have the football, and already 5 different receivers aside from Calvin Johnson have caught a pass.
Well, the ball distribution from Matthew Stafford is pretty awesome. And what Calvin does in terms of coverage, and they move him around everywhere, just presents so many opportunities for all the other guys.
Stafford, his 10th pass of the game, and incomplete. Burleson's
Chris Long looked like he was in the neutral zone when the ball was snapped to me.
No flags.
What a get off by Chris Long coming off the edge. And he really is the guy, Chris, that ended up forcing Matthew Stafford to get it out early. And when the ball comes out early, it usually sails high. Oh, that was perfect. That was perfect.
The Rams addressed that getting upfield because of the quick release of Stafford. Vertical aggressiveness. 2nd and 10. Kevin Smith short of the 25 before Laurinaitis makes the play.
Well, you say vertical aggressiveness, and I think when you talk to the defensive linemen, and we talked to Chris Long yesterday, 13 sacks last year on a team with 12 points per game. That's unbelievable. But the defensive line coach, the new defensive line coach, Mike Waffle, one of the best in the business, as Chris told us, he said he just turned us loose. You know, and when you turn it loose as a defensive lineman and you're not worried about making a mistake, usually good things happen.
3rd and 5.
Under pop.
Pass complete right at the 30. Burleson catches it and falls down. And good enough for a Lions first down. Their opening drive, they took it 77 yards. And at the goal line is when Stafford was intercepted.
Here's the beauty of their passing game. They're unbelievably talented with the quarterback and the wide receivers. But more than that is they're super smart. And they change all their routes based on the coverage they see, Chris, not pre-snap, but post-snap. After the ball is snapped, they see the rotation of the safeties, and then they change their routes accordingly, and the quarterback and the wideouts are obviously on the same page.
Quentin Michael, one of the safeties. Darian Stewart out with a hamstring for the Rams at the safety spot. On first down, they work it around to Titus Young. First down as he goes out of bounds across the 41-yard line. An 11-yard gain.
Well, here's the problem. Robert Quinn gets pinned by Will Heller. He's the guy that's got to set the edge. And now you've got Calvin Johnson one-on-one out there with Janoris Jenkins, and Jenkins cannot disengage. Look at 21. No chance to get off the bigger blocker in Calvin Johnson. Clears a nice little lane.
3 down,
first
Lucy.
down.
And the first quarter
Eagle swap.
winding down.
Swap 55.
And that will be the end of the first quarter as Stafford was barking out the signals at the 41-yard line of the Lions. Opening day in the National Football League, and at the end of the first quarter, the Rams lead the Lions here at Ford Field. Fox NFL Sunday continues in a moment. Tim Ryan, Chris Myers, glad you're with us on opening Sunday in the NFL. Lions with the football, trailing 3-0 here in the second quarter. This is Stafford, wide open, a little high, but Scheffler hangs on, and just short of midfield. First quarter, the Rams stingy after getting pushed around yardage-wise, but kept the Lions off the scoreboard.
Well, the big one is the interception, obviously, by Janoris Jenkins. Sam Bradford has been terrific, over 10 yards per completion. And believe it or not, when you look at the rush yards and the yards per carry, the Lions have run the ball better than the St. Louis Rams in the first quarter. That was unexpected.
50.
They need 2 for a first down. Kevin Smith falls down and will lose yardage. Jolan Dunbar, free agent from the Saints, has helped improve that linebacking core along with Rocky McIntosh.
Well, and they're much better because of it. Here he is. He's out wide, but at the last second he's going to get in here and he's going to shoot that gap between the guard and the tackle, which forces Kevin Smith. Kevin sees him now, and it's a tackle for loss, or he's got to stick his foot in the ground and get out, and he slips.
5 defensive backs in for the Rams on 3rd and 4.
Ray.
Calvin Johnson at the bottom of your screen has 1 catch so far. And now he has 2. First down, Lions at the Ram 45.5-yard line. Rams trying to stage an upset here on opening Sunday. The Browns are leading the Eagles. Redskins are leading the Saints. The underdog teams fighting hard from the start. Kevin Smith slips through. Down to the 25 of the Rams. A 19-yard gain.
Well, and I told you, they have no qualms about him being the starter over the left side. Kevin Smith. Again, Backus gets a good block. Rob Sims gets good block on Cujo, and Kevin Smith off to the races for the big first.
And they rush to the line without a huddle. Something both quarterbacks are comfortable with. On 1st and 10 for Matthew Stafford. Fires it. Caught Pettigrew. Let's get our first update from around the league. And Kurt Menefee. Hey, Kurt.
And hey, Chris, how about the first touchdown for RG3? This is a thing of beauty. 88 yards to Pierre Garçon. Yeah, Garçon did a lot of the work, but RG3 7 for 7 in the game, and his team leads at New Orleans 10-7. Chris and Tim.
Thanks, Kurt. The Rams play the Redskins next Sunday. High passes, hauled in, stays in bounds. That's Scheffler. A lot of work to the tight ends here from Stafford.
Well, this guy is so unique and such a weapon for this football team. He has a matchup problem. He's on a 5'10 corner in Cortland Finnegan. Tony Scheffler's every bit of 6'5". And he needed all of that with that high throw there from Stafford.
A local favorite from Chelsea High School and went to Western Michigan, the former Bronco.
Wisconsin!
Keelan Williams checks in at running back. Williams the carry. Gets down to the 10-yard line. Jim Schwartz said with Kevin Smith the starter that he'll use 3 or 4 running backs. He doesn't like to use the word committee, but until he gets guys like LaShore and maybe Javid Best back in time, this is what he has to work with.
Yeah, and Keelan Williams probably had the best training camp when you look at all the running backs for the Detroit Lions. I have a feeling, though, that Detroit wouldn't mind throwing it every down if they had to, Chris. They led the NFL in throwing attempts last year, and they're fine with it, I think.
On 2nd down 8, their second scoring opportunity. Last time they came up empty. End zone. It's caught in front of the end zone at the 2-yard line by Calvin Johnson. It is pushed forward. Craig Dahl from his safety spot pushed him, was right there with him.
Well, the beauty of Calvin is he's 6'5", 236 pounds, and watch him run an in route in front of the goal line, and just his size is too much for Craig Dahl to handle. That is a big frame to throw to from Matthew Stafford.
1st and goal, Lions. This is Kevin Smith. What a defensive stand from the Rams. Remember, they had a 1st and goal from the 3 when the rookie Janoris Jenkins intercepted Stafford.
Robert Quinn's the first guy that makes contact, the right defensive end, number 94, and stands him up, and then James Laurinaitis and Chris Long come finish him off short of the goal line.
So now 2nd and goal. Jeff Fisher has always been a defensive-minded guy.
Look at the double vice on Calvin Johnson at the bottom of your screen. Look at that.
And that's Joyce Bell who checked into the game with the touchdown. He was the 4th back from Wayne State. He goes into the stands doing a lion leap. A guy who worked as a teenager at the Lions training camp as a security guard from Wayne State, which is 3 miles from here. He's from Benton Harbor, Michigan, and he'll hold on to that football for a while.
And I believe he's been on 5 teams in the NFL.
Cut.
That's right.
Except the Lions. And against Jeff Fisher's defense, Jim Schwartz sneaks him in, and he gets across the goal line. the NFL, of course, confirming all scoring plays.
This will be a better look at it right here, just running through the arms of Laurinaitis. That's a clear touchdown. They should send a page down to the umpire that says confirmed, let him kick. No need to review that.
And the first career touchdown for Joyke Bell. He spells his first name Joique, but maybe we ought to learn to make that'll be a familiar name for Lions fans around the goal line. And Jason Hanson, at the age of 42, helps the Joyke Bell running back in his 20s give the Lions a 7-3 second quarter lead. Here at Ford Field, there is Joyke Bell from Wayne State. Local kid makes good. Playing special teams and carrying the ball into the end zone. And making history is Jason Hanson. 21st year with the same team, breaking the previous record held by Darrell Green of the Redskins and Jackie Slater of the Rams, who both played 20 years with their teams. Isaiah Peed, the rookie, from the end zone will down it. Backup running back from Cincinnati. As Jeff Fisher has a 60% new roster, and they weren't expecting this. Bell with the touchdown for the Lions. Uno, the new album, comes out September 25th for Green Day. And it's a good day when the NFL is playing on opening Sunday. Rams trail 7-3 with a first down from their own 20. Bradford's pass incomplete. Amendola, who's been the go-to guy early, the target. And the running game, I know they love to give it the Jeff Fisher approach to Steven Jackson and pound away, but that early is not going anywhere.
Well, and they need more opportunity. Steven's going to get his touches and going to get his carries, and Brian Schottenheimer, the offensive coordinator, told us that. I mean, he is going to get the football. He's our best player offensively, but only had 10 plays in this game. And they got to get something going to take some pressure off their defense, who's already been out there 27 plays.
Steven Jackson. And not letting him go. Looked like he was trying to get up the middle. Was Ndamukong Suh.
Unbelievable strength with Ndamukong Suh. Watch him hold off the offensive lineman with his left arm and then reach out and grab a 240-pound running back with his right arm. And look at, he's got both of them. There is no horse collar inside the pocket, so that's perfectly legal. That is physical, dominant strength by Ndamukong Suh.
The rookie, Chris Gibbons, was open, but couldn't hold it. On 3rd and 12. Drayton Florence making the play for the Lions. Let's get another update from Kurt Menefee.
And Tom Brady passes John Elway for 5th place on the career touchdown pass list, with this his 301st of his career. 23 yards to Aaron Hernandez, and the Patriots leading Tennessee 7-3 as they start the second quarter. Chris, Tim?
All right, thanks, Kurt. And a big play because Gibbons, their speed ball, was open.
Oh, he was wide open, and he had to actually slow down for it.
The rookie punter bobbles it, but kicks it anyway. And on a liner, Logan takes it. Stephon Logan in the clear. In Ram territory, where the punter had to help run him out. Here comes a flag.
This just magnifies how big that play was by Drayton Florence to knock that ball out.
And Bradford a little too much air under it because Gibbons had to hold up and come back to it, but he had protection.
Well, he saw him so late. I think Sam was back there holding the ball 4 or 5 seconds and saw him late and then just had to launch it. Gibbons was behind Drayton Florence by 7, 8, 9 yards, had to slow down for it, which gave Florence the opportunity to catch up and rip the arms apart and get the ball out.
3 penalties already, Tim, for the Rams in this game. None called on the Lions.
during the return. Personal foul, horse collar tackle, kicking team. 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the run. First down. Timeout.
That's Craig Dahl. And the Lions rookie punter with a 49-yard boot, but a 19-yard return. Detroit has the lead, and they have the football. After the penalty tacked on to the return, 1st and 10 Lions from the 32 of the Rams. Kevin Smith fights to the 30. Let's go back to the big play that Drayton Florence made on Chris Gibbons.
Unreal that he's been here a week and he made the biggest play in the game here for the Lions so far. Look at him get his hand on the ball, but then rip the arms away from Chris Gibbons. He was beat. He's playing catch up. The ball's a bit underthrown. He doesn't give up on it. Rips the arms down and eventually knocks the ball out. Huge play.
2nd down, 8. What a grab at the 17-yard line by Titus Young.
What a route by Titus Young.
13-yard pickup.
He's just going to run a deep square in. Here it is on Janoris Jenkins, the rookie. And there he just cuts it hard, and then the strength to go up and get it right in front of his face mask and hang on to it as Janoris is trying to rip his arms apart. Well done.
After a gain of 14, Kevin Smith on 1st down the back. Stafford's a throw, and it's intercepted. His 2nd of the game. Jolon Dunbar from his linebacker spot all the way down to the 42 of the Lions. First drive of the game, the Lions went 77 yards when Jenkins intercepted Stafford. Now it's Dunbar.
Well, this is the beauty of a Jeff Fisher defense. They are so smart. There's Jolon Dunbar. They know how Stafford loves to go to Brandon Pettigrew on an out route. Undercut by Jolon Dunbar. That's 2 interceptions by the St. Louis Rams defense in this game.
60% of the Ram roster is new. That's the rookie Jenkins and the free agent linebacker Dunbar. 2 picks of Stafford throws as Jackson carries on 1st down. He's in beast mode, his best run of the day. We may be watching a Ram revival under Jeff Fisher. I know it's only in the 2nd quarter, but they're going toe-to-toe with the playoff team.
Absolutely are. And I think, Jeff, both of those interceptions, to me, were predictable situations for what Matthew Stafford's behavior pattern was going to be. And show him single coverage with a big tight end on Janoris Jenkins and then double cover it. Give Pettigrew the out route and then undercut it. I think both of those were predicted tips from the head coach.
On 2nd down 1, that's a 1st down as Jackson fights hard. Let's check in on the Redskins, who are thinking upset down in New Orleans with Kurt Benefit.
And a good start for RG3. 3 possessions, 2 touchdown passes. This one to Aldrick Robinson, 5-yard score. Griffin, 10 of 11, 2 touchdowns already. And they lead 17-7. Chris and Tim?
Thanks, Kurt. One of 5 rookie quarterbacks starting on this Sunday.
Yeah, and I guess all the stuff about not naming a starting running back, I guess it doesn't matter when you got RG3. 17 points already for the Redskins.
Screen to Steven Jackson. Now they're a Ram 1st down. Stephen Tulloch, one of those 100 tackle guys, leader of the defense. And we asked Steven Jackson about a quarterback-driven league. He said, yeah, you're right. But
he's still going to get his carries. He's going to get his touches. But I think more importantly, when you say quarterback-driven league, you're going to see Steven Jackson reclaim what he was several years ago as an unbelievable weapon in the passing game out of the backfield. And a lot of people don't realize this cat had over 90 catches several years ago for the St. Louis Rams as a running back.
Rookie Darrell Richardson is in at running back from Abilene Christian. And he gets the pitch. Cuts back and fights hard to get down to the 10-yard line. The 2nd and 3rd effort, once tacklers got to him, was impressive for the 5'10 rookie.
This guy is explosive now. You watch him in the preseason and the ability to start and stop and get to full speed in a hurry. It's pretty awesome. Good blocks out on the edge. Guys blocking down, getting the linebackers blocked to give Richardson some nice running room.
And he got a 1st down. So from the 11-yard line, here come the Rams. Steven Jackson The legs are going, but he's not moving forward. Not much anyway.
Well, Sammy Lee Hill absolutely stuffed the point of attack, and that's what the Lions can do defensively. And Gunther Cunningham, the defensive coordinator, knows it. He doesn't have to give those guys inside a lot of help. Watch Sammy right there. He's actually playing right tackle and just stuffs the offensive lineman, which really forces Steven Jackson to go sideways. When that happens, all the pursuit catches up inside for the Lions defense.
Steve Smith splits out at the left. Jackson the back from the 10. Bradford, middle of the field. Jackson knocked down right away. Eric Coleman coming up from the safety spot.
And this is what we talked about. Steven Jackson as a weapon. Here he's going to line up offset, which tells the defense, get ready for a pass. He ends up coming to the middle of the field. And then here's the safety, Eric Coleman, who's going to fire up and hit him before he can get to the 5-yard line.
3rd down and 4. Nick Fairley with the sack. Jeff Fisher calling out the field goal unit. And Tim, you said we may see some surprises in this game from Fisher. And look how they're lining up for this field goal.
Yeah, I think the Lions, if they didn't prepare for this, they're going to have to use one of their timeouts right here. And they prepared for it. Jimmy Schwartz knew Jeff Fisher had something up his sleeve. Said if they want to widen those guys out, we'll widen out with them. We're going to force the Rams just to kick it.
29-yard try. Rookie combination holder and kicker, but Zerline zips it through. He's 2 for 2. And Jimmy
Schwartz on the sideline going, nice try, Jeff.
They know each other oh so well, Schwartz and Fisher. Jim Schwartz worked under Jeff Fisher for 10 years in Tennessee, and the line that caught our attention, this is the first time they're facing each other as head coaches, is when Jeff Fisher said, I know Jim will not call off the dogs, and I'm not going to be waving the white flag in this one, with a chuckle and a smile.
Man, the first time the two have ever matched up against each other, and we asked Jeff about it, the first time matching up against Jim, because I'm not matching up against Jim.
He credits not only Bill Belichick, but certainly Jeff Fisher for giving him responsibility as an NFL coach. And Schwartz, a head coach, has done well in Detroit. On the return, knocked down at the 12.5-yard line. Rodney McLeod, the rookie, with some excellent special teams coverage. The only touchdown so far. The Lions lead by 1. Of a carnival festive atmosphere at Ford Field on opening Sunday, and America's Game of the Week. You'll see coming up most 49ers and Packers involving teams from the divisions of the Rams and the Lions. First down, Detroit leading by 1 from their own 13. Pass is complete to Keelan Williams, who's knocked down right away. So far, 2 long drives for this Detroit team, a 77-yard drive and an 80-yard drive, but those ended in interceptions, and then of course Bell scoring the touchdown.
And Matthew Stafford's numbers look good, 14 of 18, but the 2 interceptions down in the red zone, obviously tremendous mistakes. And his accuracy, I got to tell you, Chris, is he's not on the money like he typically is. I mean, throwing the out routes, throwing the in-cutting routes, they're not out in front of guys.
But the story right here has to be the way the Rams are hanging with this playoff team. Coming up, the Visa halftime report as Chris Long gets ready, and father, Hall of Fame dad Howie, part of our Visa halftime crew, and of course the pregame show on Fox.
Howie looked great in his uniform, but Chris, with all that swag, the cut towel, are you kidding me?
Kevin Smith knocked down short of the 25-yard line. Janoris Jenkins, who had an interception early, making the play.
Yeah, I think looking at this first half, it's the 2 interceptions down in the red zone are the clear difference. And I think both plays that were made in the film room during the course of the week in preparing for these Detroit Lions. And Matthew Stafford has not been perfect in terms of his accuracy and on his game.
The throw, another interception. This is Cortland Finnegan, and he is going to have a Ram touchdown. Just when you were saying there's a flag down at the 30, but just as you were saying Stafford has been a little bit off, Finnegan with what would be Stafford's third interception of the day. But let's check the flag.
Well, and you know what? Jeff Fisher being here for 4 or 5 games last year with his son being on the staff, and I know he watched a lot of tape, watched a lot of games last year. He knows the behavior pattern and predictable patterns of Matthew Stafford. And here's the interception as he's trying to fire it out to the right to Calvin Johnson. And look at Cortland Finnegan just let his guy go
After
to jump the route.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 16. 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. The foul is on Detroit.
Bad news gets worse. That's on Titus Young. And for Finnegan, his 4th career interception return for a touchdown. And he brings the Jeff Fisher attitude.
And they are in Matthew Stafford's head. And he is a direct conduit from Jeff Fisher. And now part of that, Chris, is intelligence. And what he showed there was he was gonna run with the inside receiver, the number 2 receiver. And then at the last minute, he bailed off of him, turned him free, and undercut the out route to Calvin Johnson.
And interesting, in much of this first half, Finnegan has not been lined up with Calvin Johnson. They've been moving people around. Fletcher, actually, that's Bradley Fletcher, has been on Calvin Johnson.
Well, that's because he's the slot defender, and when they get into their nickel, which is their 3 cornerbacks and 2 safeties. So he jumps on the slot, which he was that time, and Calvin was the outside receiver.
And the confirmation upstairs, officials making sure every scoring play. I want to go back because when Jeff Fisher, after 16 years, had a 1-year break and he hung out at the league office and watched games and helped with some official issues, but he did spend time at training camp with Jim Schwartz and here with the Lions. Went to a couple of games. You mentioned his son Brandon Fisher, now on Jeff's staff, formerly with Jim Schwartz on the Lions, and they know each other. But Tim, even though the coaches or families and teams know each other, I mean, Stafford still has to be able to handle this.
Yeah, they now here's Finnegan. Watch, he's going to be on the number 2 receiver, and then watch him bail. He already knows that there's a pretty good idea that Matthew Stafford is going to go out to Calvin Johnson. So are his feet inbounds or out as he turned the corner on the interception and then runs into the end zone.
Initial part, once he caught the football, that's where we have to see that foot. I think that's what they're looking at closely because down the line it looked good.
Yeah, clearly as Finnegan was striding down from about the 15-yard line in, he was certainly in bounds.
And it's new this year that the league, to enhance the field experience here at Ford Field, they play it on the in-stadium screen or Jumbotron so fans can see just the way the official review is going. We do have our regular replay officials for the NFL.
I don't think they can overturn this one based on what I just saw in the visual evidence. I mean, it looked like his heel. You could not tell from any of those angles if his heel was on the white stripe and out of bounds or not.
Ruled a touchdown on the field.
After review, the play stands is called touchdown.
31-yard interception return. And for Jim Schwartz, his star quarterback, 3 interceptions here in the first half.
It's a huge story. I mean, Matthew Stafford, 41 touchdowns last year, over 5,000 yards throwing, which is a unbelievable feat when you think about it. Has been outsmarted today by the St. Louis Rams. There's really no other way to put it. It's not like they've been bad throws. They've been scheme interceptions.
That's a good point. And interceptions that were held onto by the defensive player.
Absolutely.
As the rookie Zerline with his extra point, he's 2 for 2 in the field goal department. And the Rams now have a 13-7 lead with just under a minute and a half to go. The battle for baseball's postseason heats up. Tigers trying to continue their push for the AL Central title. They square off against the Indians, and you'll see other games. Fox Saturday Baseball returns this week, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. Matthew Stafford, a big baseball fan, was a catcher at shortstop when he was younger, saying the Tigers' best chance to get in is the wild card. That was his opinion.
Yeah, and there's the old catcher in him wearing that baseball hat backwards. Look, no need to panic for the Lions fans, and I know for this Lions football team, 3 times last year, down 17 points or more, the Detroit Lions were able to come back and win. That's the kind of firepower they have offensively if Matthew Stafford is more judicious in his decision making.
And they did a lot of that with very little time left. We have plenty of time, not only before the half, but an entire second half for Matthew Stafford. And because of that penalty, the advantage here, let's see how This is one of those surprise moments for Jeff Fisher. Would you boot it in the end zone? Did you pooch it?
At the flow of the game going right now with 1:28, I'm blowing this thing into the end zone and making him go a bunch of yards to try to get some points.
In case you're wondering, for Matthew Stafford, worst career interception.
Oh, there's the trick.
And it is a little pooch that's grabbed inside the 24-yard line. Will Heller with good hands. Stafford suffering 5 interceptions. That's his career worst. So far 3 in this game. I mentioned earlier, Tim, the rookie quarterbacks. We're going to see Robert Griffin next week when the Redskins play these Rams. But your thoughts on, of course, Andrew Luck battling the Bears today?
Well, these two guys off the charts. I thought this guy would have the best chance of winning today, but so far so good for Robert Griffin and the Washington Redskins. That one's shocking to me.
And a young quarterback here at age 24 trying to rally his team. Calvin Johnson. He's got it.
They only rush 3 guys. They drop 8 because of the empty set. So Matthew Stafford has got double teams all over the 3 defensive linemen for the St. Louis Rams all day to throw. He just throws a rebound shot to Calvin.
Kevin Smith carries here. That was a 51-yard gain. The Lions have all 3 of their timeouts, and they're going to use one now. All day for Stafford on the previous throw.
Part of Calvin Johnson's helmet's missing, and I'll tell you what happened.
You can see it fly up in the air.
It flies up in the air, and it goes into pieces, and Cortland Finnegan went and picked a piece up and threw it towards his sideline.
That's one way to defend him.
Watch this. Now, you'll see pieces fly out of the helmet. Both ear pads fly out. Now, Finnegan, number 31, is going to walk over and grab one of those ear pads, and he's going to throw it to the sideline, his sideline, away from the Lions team.
Finnegan not only intercepts the football, but
there it is. There's the pickup.
Well.
You'll be playing without an ear hole or an ear pad here for a little bit, and Calvin knows it.
Finnegan is one of those guys noted for trash talking on the field, for getting in players' heads. He has an interception return for a score that has the Rams leading by 6.
I just don't know if Stafford gets that kind of time. I just don't know how you defend that to Calvin Johnson because of how high he can get up in the air and how strong he is. And the younger defenders, Chris, they want to come up and they want to play through the basket and rip his arms down. Easier said than done once he locks in and captures the football. 4th catch of the game for Calvin Johnson, but the running play produced only 2. So 2 timeouts and a 2nd and 8 already in field goal range.
Where you at? Squeeze! Lucky.
Pettigrew lost it. Brandon Pettigrew is open at the goal line.
Boy, he runs right by Quentin Michael, wide open. The ball's a little high. He's got to go up and leap for it. But just as he was hitting the ground on his back, the ball popped out.
3rd and 8.
Just a good example of the quick strike firepower of this football team. Got to make those plays.
Play clock running down here. Just got it off. On 3rd down, Stafford on the move. To the end zone and almost another interception. Bradley Fletcher was over there. It's going to be 4th down.
I got to tell you, I am shocked at some of the balls that Matthew Stafford is unloading. He does so much to extend this play and give himself an opportunity, and it's like he never saw Bradley Fletcher. It's either that or he thought with his arm strength, with high velocity, he could slip it in there, and the ball didn't come out of his hand very good. Either way, not a good decision to make that throw. That should have been pick number 4.
Tony Scheffler was open for a while, but by the time Stafford found him, and as you said, delivered the ball, it was too late. So a 41-yard field goal try for Hansen. And the kick is through. Lions Lions inch a little bit closer, within 3. This Wednesday, hope you're ready for the new season of the X Factor. Simon Cowell joining judges and entertainers. Britney Spears is part of the X Factor. Don't miss the premiere of the new season this Wednesday on Fox. Simon Cowell, if he was a head coach, he'd be kind of like a Jim Schwartz type, don't you think?
He'd never make it out of the locker room. He'd get hammered by his own players.
Well, the X Factor.
Don't talk to me that way.
The X Factor here against Jim Schwartz's team is maybe the knowledge, the pupil against the teacher here. Jeff Fisher holding the upper hand so far.
Well, holding the upper hand, I think, against the quarterback, Matthew Stafford. And that's really been the whole thing. And like I said, I am flabbergasted at how they've been in his head and forcing throws into double coverages that he doesn't see pre-snap or post-snap.
20 seconds remaining here in the first half. And this Ram team, they had to make a change over the last 5 years. They set a record for inefficiency with the fewest wins in the history of a team over a 5-year period.
They won 15 games in 5 years. Here's what I like about it, though, and we talked about the ingredients of the potential franchise quarterback and the elite running back, but paying guys that are going to be here for the long haul. They bring Cortland Finnegan in. He's got a lot of football left in him. They give Chris Long, who's worthy of a big contract, new money. They give James Laurinaitis just yesterday new money. They are building something for the future, obviously, for the St. Louis Rams.
Isaiah Pete from the end zone will down it. Rams, remember, deferred to start the game, so not only do they have the lead, the Rams will get the football to start the second half. The Lions finished the 2011 season with a 10-6 record. It was their first winning season since 2000 and their first playoff appearance since '99. The most wins since '95. But as you pointed out, there were some concerns on defense their last 2 games, the points that they gave up. So far, the concern.
Their defense is fine, Chris.
Their
defense,
quarterback.
Yeah, and their defense has given up 92 yards in this game. Their defense is doing fine.
Rams will run out the clock. Jeff Fisher in his first game after a year off as the head coach of the Rams, who won 2 games last year. Up against the Lions, who, as we just said, went to the playoffs. And Cortland Finnegan with an interception return for a touchdown. The only touchdown for the Rams in the first half. One of 3 interceptions thrown by Matthew Stafford. Tim Ryan, Chris Myers, second half exciting from Ford Field when the Rams will get the football. What kind of adjustments do you expect from Jim Schwartz?
Well, the bottom line is Matthew Stafford's got to be a better decision maker. And defensively, they're doing fine. 3 times down in the red zone, and all 3 times Matt has served it up to the opponent, which has obviously been the big issue.
From the booth and enjoying opening day, and hope you are, the NFL on Fox around the league. And there are always shockers. We had the Rams last year. One of their 2 wins was when they beat the Saints after the Saints ran up the score. That was a different coaching staff, and it seems like an entirely different roster and a different attitude.
Yeah, I think the attitude of this football team is a direct extension of Jeff Fisher, and we've seen it from Cortland Finnegan, who was brought to St. Louis to be the conduit. They're going to be physical. They're going to be smart. We've already seen both of those things. They're going to have a lot of mental toughness, and I think they're going to need it in the second half because this Lions offense is no joke. Yes, it's been ugly early, and Stafford with the bad throws and the picks down in the red zone. They've got unbelievable firepower. The Rams will have their hands full.
Rams thinking upset and have the lead at the half. Right now for the Visa halftime report, let's head to Kurt Menefee in our Los Angeles studios. 3 interceptions thrown by Matthew Stafford. They haven't punted in this game. They trail 13-10. You can follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. Hansen ready to kick off. The Rams to receive. Isaiah Pete, the rookie from Cincinnati. The Lions had 7 come from behind wins last year. Trailing by 3 here at home. The Ram offense, which has only produced a couple of field goals, with an opportunity to add to the 13-10 lead. He's bringing it out. Stopped right at the 20-yard line. Along with Tim Ryan, Chris Myers, Jamie Maggio is down on the field, and Jeff Fisher in his first game as Ram head coach against his former assistant Jim Schwartz, holding the upper hand and forcing Matthew Stafford into some tough throws. In fact, he only threw 2 interceptions in the red zone all of last year. He already has 2 of those in the red zone today.
Yeah, and I think give Jeff some credit, give his defensive staff some credit, Dave McGinnis, Chuck Cecil, those guys, and his players for the ability to execute the tip sheet and the game plan that was laid out in front of them. I mean, just what they've been able to do to Matthew Stafford, predicting where he was going to go with the football, showing him one thing and doing another. It's really been awesome to watch. And keeping the crowd on the edge of their seats as Jackson carries and fights hard across the 25-yard line. See what the coaches were saying at halftime. Check down on the field with Jamie Maggio. Jamie?
All right, Chris, thank you so much. You know, Coach Jim Schwartz said we got to continue to stop the run, and we're moving the ball really well, but those 3 interceptions made this a different ball game. I said, what'd you see with Matthew Stafford? He goes, you know what, he's seeing the ball fine. Maybe he's being a little too aggressive. As for Coach Fisher, he said, you know what, we knew this was an offensively explosive team. Our goal is to hold them to field goals. What we need to do in the second half is get our offense going. How do you do that? You got to keep the ball away from the Lions. Chris, Tim, back to you.
Second down 4. Express, stop! Jackson hit hard. Stephen Tulloch with the stop. It'll be 3rd down for the Rams as we check the first half numbers, and the Lions defense certainly has done a pretty good job.
And you know what? They've got a backup secondary out there, and they have done fine. And you see there the total yards for the St. Louis Rams, 91, and they've only produced 2 field goals. So I think we've been all over the difference in this game, and they're the 3 turnovers, the 3 picks, 2 of them down in the red zone in scoring position from Matthew Stafford.
They need to get to the 30 on 3rd down. Here comes a flag. No play. Rams penalized 4 times in the game. The Lions once.
Ball start. Offense number 76. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
So on left tackle, Roger Saffold.
Man, this building notorious last year for false starts. This place rocks pretty good.
In fact, 22 false starts, most in the league for opponents at Ford Field in the 8 home games. On 3rd and 8.
Yeah, 3rd and 3 just got a lot harder against this defense in this pass rush, pushing them back 5 yards because of the penalty.
Bradford goes down, and Ndamukong with the sack.
Well, here's Ndamukong Suh right here at left defensive tackle, and he comes up inside and then is able to peel off. Oh, they run a nice move with the end, and then Sam Bradford just digs a hole. Sam had his eyes down the field, and once he looked up, and then, you know, quarterbacks are never supposed to look at the rush, but once he looked up and saw Big Blue number 90 right in his grill, Sam Bradford just dug a hole and took the sack.
Rookie punter John Hecker inside the 44 is Logan. Across midfield, inside the 40 of the Rams. Jake McQuaid, the snapper, made the stop, so excellent field position. After a 46-yard punt, the Lions have the football. Rams on defense helping Jeff Fisher. That's Dave McGinnis, upper left, and Blake Williams, son of Greg Williams, the suspended coach, suspended indefinitely by the NFL, helping call the defense.
Well, and I think once Greg was suspended, we all started asking the question, who's going to call the defense for the St. Louis Rams? Took a bit of gamesmanship, not trying to let anybody know, including Jimmy Schwartz.
Nate Burleson fighting for a first down. Janoris Jenkins, the rookie, who the Lions considered drafting, but the Rams did in the 2nd round, made the tackle. He had the interception early to thwart a Lions drive.
And I think when you look at the signals coming in, and as you see Blake Williams calling him in there, Jimmy Schwartz, who spent so much time with Jeff Fisher and Dave McGinnis in Tennessee. He understands their signals. He understands their calls. And we know how smart Jim Schwartz is, so they are not giving him any advance in what they're calling and how they're doing it.
First set of downs. Kevin Smith with the carry. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose maybe a half a yard. It's going to check in. Patrick O'Neill has something on the Browns and Eagles. Patrick?
Chris, thanks. In Cleveland, Jeremy Maclin has been Michael Vick's favorite target in this game. Maclin has 6 catches, 85 yards, and that touchdown. They just went to the half. The Eagles leading the Browns 10-3. Chris and Tim.
Thanks, Patrick. Cleveland hanging with Philadelphia. The Redskins leading down in New Orleans at the half, thinking upset like the Rams are here. But as Stephen Logan checks in as the running back and then splits out far to the right side as a receiver, the Lions on second down. And going down is Matthew Stafford. Robert Quinn with the sack. Chris Long got there as well to annoy him.
Well, and here's the beauty of it. It's a 3-man rush. Here's Robert Quinn. Tight end's going to release. He's on the tackle. He and Chris Long both meet at the quarterback. It's a 3-man rush. You got 5 guys to block 3. And if you can get pressure when you do that, look at the speed of both guys. That meeting at the quarterback, which trips up Matthew Stafford, and then Robert Quinn's able to corral him and get him to the ground.
And the Rams going with 6 defensive backs here on third down.
And anytime, man, let's see if they're going to rush 3 again.
And here comes the flag. There was contact there.
And I'll tell you why. As dynamic as the Lions are in their receiver core, if they go empty 5 out, they're going to keep 8 in coverage, that being the Rams. No question.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 91 came into the neutral zone and caused the offense to false start. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
The call on Chris Long, but the intensity in the eyes of Jeff Fisher. He does not look like the laid-back Californian that Jim Schwartz described him as. No.
That's a good thing, isn't it?
Not today, anyway. So 3rd and 13. They need to get to the 21 for a first down. It could be a long field goal beyond 50 if they don't get anything. Complete to Burleson. He gets inside the 27-yard line. And that'll bring up a 4th down for the Lions. And here comes Jason Hansen. It's got a little chippy out there. So far, no flags. The officials trying to do a good job of separating the 2 teams. Jason Hansen, who spent half his life in the NFL. He's 42 years old, his 21st year with the Lions. A 45-yard field goal try. He got it. We're tied at 13 here in the 3rd quarter at Ford Field. Saturday on Fox, another great week of college football. And boy, it was a wild one with Jim Mora's Bruins upsetting Nebraska. Hope you saw it last night. The pregame show this week, USC going to Palo Alto to take on Stanford. It's the Pac-12 opener for both teams. Coverage on Fox College Football begins at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. We hope you join the gang.
It was a wild scene at Syracuse yesterday for the Trojans. They had to evacuate that stadium right before halftime because of funnel clouds and everything else, and of course SC came back and put the wallop on.
Spoken like a former USC Trojan. Isaiah P. this time will down it, and the Ram offense will take over from the 20-yard line. Their lead has evaporated. We'll see what Sam Bradford can do.
The Ford Field, well, we have a change on the Rams offensive line. The center, Scott Wells, is questionable to return with a left foot injury. Moving over to center is Rob Turner. Checking in at left guard, the rookie, Rakevius Watkins.
Rams with a 1st and 10. Steven Jackson the back. Steve Smith wide to the right as the receiver for Bradford. And he goes across the middle to Amendola, who falls short of the 1st down.
And that changeup that Jamie was just talking about because of the injury to Scott Wells is going to highly stress this group up front. And it even makes me think more shotgun fast pass for Sam Bradford. Look, Robert Turner hasn't had a lot of starts in this league. He goes in for the best player, Scott Wells, on the offensive line right there, and then they bring in, as Jamie said, the rookie at left guard against maybe the best group of defensive linemen in the NFL. Big challenge.
Steven Jackson splits out to the left. Wells, a former Pro Bowler. Rob Turner, a free agent from the Jets in his 4th year out of New Mexico. On 2nd and 1. That's Amendola for a first down. Here comes a flag at the 24-yard line.
Corey Williams was getting huge push. I think he thinks in his mind he got held as he was trying to converge on the quarterback, Bradford.
Holding, offense number 73. 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That is on the rookie, Rocavius Watkins, who just came in with that swap on the line.
And look at the push from Corey Williams. Splits the double team as Turner's trying to turn back and get off of Sue, and just basically picked up the left guard, threw him out of the way, and Watkins had to hold him before he hit the quarterback.
7th penalty for the Rams, so now it's 2nd and 11.
This defensive line, I got a feeling, going to start taking this game over.
Amendola open and overthrown, but the pressure was there in the pocket.
I'm telling you, I am feeling it, that this defensive line, not just because Scott Wells is out and they had to make the changeup, I think they're starting to find their groove, and they've been able to get St. Louis into some long down and distances. And they've got 2 guys that actually win there, and one beats the double team in Corey Williams. Kyle Vandenbosch comes around the corner to push Bradford up in the pocket, and then Corey Williams is able to hit him.
Gunther Cunningham, the defensive coordinator, coached for more than 4 decades in the league.
Always been a blitz guy, Chris. He doesn't have to blitz with this defensive line here for the Lions.
The replacement officials sorting things out. And you see down on the field NFL history being made.
Here she is.
Shannon Easton, the line judge, the first female in the NFL to have an official who was injured, and that's why we have a delay. Paul Caldera, the side judge, is the official who's injured. And there's Shannon Easton, the first female official to work in an NFL regular season game. And the official they're checking the injury on. Shannon Easton worked the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Jeff Fisher said she worked the preseason game, and he went up and said, "Hey, you're doing a good job." And she said, "I'm living the dream." In fact, Justin Durant also played college ball at Hampton, remembered her working a game. And she's now part of NFL history. We have an injury to an official here at Ford Field. We welcome you back to Ford Field. And we're going to hear from Mike Pereira in just a moment on the injured official. But the Rams facing a 3rd and 11. Steven Jackson slips a tackle and goes down. Stephen Tulloch on the stop. It'll be a 4th down for the Rams. Tim Ryan, Chris Myers, and we welcome in our rules expert from the Fox Command Center, Mike Pereira, for some background on the injured official.
Yeah, Paul Caldera, who worked with me in the Fox Command Center on Saturday college football. He had a year off last year because of a knee injury. So he went from my command center onto the NFL this year. It looks like he re-injured the knee, but luckily with what they're doing now with the replacement officials, there's an alternate at every game, so you fill the spot.
Hey, I got to ask you, Mike, how about the female Shannon Easton out here officiating in the NFL?
Stephen Logan on the return. Gets out of bounds at the 45. Go ahead, Mike. A 46-yard punt and a 15-yard return. Tied at 13. The Lions have the football, and we'll have more with Mike Pereira in a moment.
Welcome back, and our rules guru, Mike Pereira. Mike, I asked you right before the break, didn't get a chance to answer it. Shannon Easton, the first female official ever to officiate an NFL game. How's she doing?
You know, I watched her in the preseason, and of course watched her a little bit today. She's holding her own. You know, I think she's done a pretty good job. She's got quite a bit of experience, and she's holding up pretty good so far.
Lions with a first down at the 45. Kevin Smith carries, and a good game into Ram territory. Mike, how about an overview on the officiating today? You're kind of watching all that's going on.
Yeah, we're watching every game, and you know, so far it's been smooth. I mean, there's been missed calls, but then you get that with the regular guys on Sunday too. So far the league has gotten what it's wanted. It's not a lot of interruptions in administration. It's been pretty smooth.
All right, thanks, Mike Pereira. We certainly hope the official is okay, who worked with Mike and was working this game before the injury. On second down and 2, Stephon Logan checks in as the running back.
More.
And that's who catches Stafford's toss, and we're going to third down. And this crowd waiting to erupt. But so far, Matthew Stafford, the 3 interceptions in the first half, and good tackling from a Ram team that last year was the worst tackling team in the league.
And that to me is the story, especially when you talk about all these weapons for the Lions and getting the guys the football in space as Matthew Stafford distributes the ball all over the place. And you just saw 3 defenders around Logan right there. They are tackling so much better defensively, are the Rams, than they did all year last year, as you said, the worst in the NFL.
6 defensive backs for the Rams on 3rd and 3. Incomplete. Nate Burleson was in the area. Matthew Stafford does not look comfortable.
And
Jeff
that's a throw
Fisher
he could make in his sleep. And his numbers, like I said, you look at his completion to attempts, it's good. 20 of 28. He's almost got 200 yards, but the 3 interceptions, and he just hasn't been on target. A couple of the big balls were jump balls to Calvin Johnson. Any of those out routes or those in cuts, he's not getting the ball out in front of the guys on their hands where they can easily catch it and keep running.
First punt of the game for the Lions. It's the veteran Ben Graham who won the job in the preseason. Andy Amendola back for the Rams, waiting for the fair catch inside the 10. And that's where the Ram offense will take over, but there is a flag down back around midfield. It was a 40-yard punt by Graham.
Prior to the kick, illegal formation, kicking team, number 57. 5-yard penalty will be added to the dead ball spot, first down.
Call on Doug
Timeout.
Pope. And Jim Schwartz frustrated in a tie of 13 here at home. Cortland Finnegan, one of the 3 interceptions of Matthew Stafford, and he has produced the only Ram touchdown. The Rams tied with Detroit here in the 3rd quarter. On first down, Steven Jackson finds little running room. Sam Bradford has only attempted 12 passes in this game. The most sacked and most hit quarterback over the last 2 years has been sacked twice in today's game.
Well, and I think his defense and their level of play today with the 3 interceptions and the turnovers is going to keep the game plan exactly as Jeff Fisher and Sam Bradford wanted. Slow the game down, or speed it up rather, in terms of chewing the clock, and just let Sam turn and hand it off to Steven Jackson as much as he can.
3 tight ends in for the Rams on second down. Near the 25, Lance Kendricks, one of those tight ends, making the grab. Let's get an update from Patrick O'Neill.
Chris in Kansas City, Falcons making the Chiefs pay for a turnover. Matt Ryan's who, yeah, you guessed it, Tony Gonzalez played his first 12 years in Kansas City, 36 years old, and he still dunked it over the goalpost. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Patrick. A first down for the Rams. Kendrick's second catch of the game, left for number 88. He's somebody Bradford may be looking for quite a bit here in the second half. That's him moving around. And incomplete. And he got knocked down. And his arm was hit when he released the football.
Watch the blitz come from over here from the Detroit Lions. You see the safety comes up in there first, and then DeAndre Levy, the linebacker, also squeezing it up inside. Sam has gotten hit pretty good in this game. That one hurt. Shoulder pad right to the chest plate of Sam Bradford.
From the 24-yard line. The reason when they have used 3 tight ends, of course, Scott Wells, their Pro Bowl center, has reported out with an injury. Quick throw is caught by Gibson, knocked out at the 30. Brandon Gibson got leveled as soon as he hauled it in by the rookie, Dwight. They call him Bill Bentley.
And he gets the start today with Chris Houston being out. Take a listen to this hit. Oh. Not bad for 177 pounds in Bill Bentley.
You can hear that on Michigan Avenue. 3rd and 3.
They've been really happy with him. Showing blitz. Let's see if they bail out.
Incomplete. Gibbons and Amendola were running through the area, but a big misfire or misconnection on the part of the Rams. It's 4th down.
Miscommunication. Well, look, if you're a receiver and you have any indicator that pressure's coming, whether it be from your side or the other side, and the quarterback's got to get it out quick, you got to spin your head and look back at your quarterback. Neither one of the wideouts did that for Sam Bradford.
Logan standing back at his 22-yard line. Johnny Hecker with his 4th punt of his NFL career. Logan straight up the middle for the 35-yard line. It'll be 1st down for the Lions, who are battling in a 13-13 game. Who would have thought with a high-scoring offense that Detroit trotted out on the field last year in their trip to the playoffs, that they would be locked into this kind of a game with the Rams.
Now, who would have thought that Matthew Stafford would throw 2 touchdowns down in the red zone? He threw a 3 all year down in the red zone last year. So a lot of credit to the coaching staff, the whole defensive staff, and those young players. Janoris Jenkins, the rookie corner, is having a heck of a game.
Lucky.
From the 35 on 1st down. Stafford for Scheffler, and he can't hold it. Running right with him was Cortland Finnegan. Looked like he had his hands all over it.
Well, Tony Scheffler's got to make these plays. We saw Brandon Pettigrew earlier in the game drop a touchdown pass. It was a good throw from Sam Bradford. Sam knows right now he's got man coverage. Here comes the pressure. Or excuse me, Matthew Stafford. So he's got the matchup he's looking for. He looks right. Now he unloads it to the 6'5 Scheffler, throws it in, and really throws him open because Finnegan was in a good spot. Throws it over the outside shoulder, and Scheffler simply dropped it.
And Finnegan's only 5'10", but he has made big plays already for Jeff Fisher's Rams team. 2nd down. That's high and incomplete. Titus Young, the receiver. Stafford attempting 30 passes so far in this game.
You know, it's been strange watching him because he's very, very accurate. 70% in the preseason accuracy. And that's pretty good. And as I said earlier, the out routes and the in routes have all been either behind the guys or too far out in front of them. And then the vertical routes down the seams, for the most part, have all been overthrown.
Scott
and if a guy does have a chance to get it, he's got to jump up in the air to get his hands on it.
Scott Linehan going to have to dial something up here on 3rd and 10. 6 defensive backs for the Rams. Time for Stafford down the middle, and what a catch by Burleson. 1st down Lions in Ram territory.
Smart by Burleson, knowing exactly where the 1st down sticks were and to get past them and then elevate on another high throw from Matthew Stafford. The Rams defense, Chris, they played everybody deep. We're going to try to make them throw it up in front of the 1st down stick, rally up and make the tackle. But the depth of the route of Burleson was perfect.
A 21-yard gain. And Kevin Smith the back from the 44 of the Rams. Not hard and not brought down for a loss. Jolon Dunbar earlier had a pick. Here he's all over Kevin Smith.
And I am surprised on first down the Lions tried to run the ball there. It was obviously a pressure look as they had everybody up inside. And he had one-on-one matchups, isolation routes out on the perimeter to his wide receivers. He chose and elected to stay with the run and ran it right into the teeth of the blitz of Jolon Dunbar.
Calvin Johnson has 4 catches in the game, but nothing here in the second half. 5 catches for Burles, and he's the leading receiver. That's Calvin in the slot. Batted and caught by Stafford. His own throw, and he advances it inside the 45. It was Eugene Sims who got his hands on the football.
He had it what looked like was going to be an easy completion to Nate Burles, and Calvin takes everybody, so he's going to throw it to Nate. Eugene Sims, all 6'5", jumps up and gets it. Matthew Stafford basically on the little tip grabs it and is able to get it back near the line of scrimmage.
A chance for an interception as well. Stafford facing a 3rd and 10.
What you want?
There's the matchup.
Cortland Finnegan on Calvin Johnson, and we're going to have a timeout called by the Lions. They have 2 remaining. Jeff Fisher, we talked about, you don't necessarily change the culture. He is the culture for this young team.
It's all about cool coach culture. He's the coolest head coach in the NFL. When you talk cool, it's Jeff Fisher.
And, even Jim Schwartz said he lets you be who you are, whether you're a coach on his staff or a player, and he's a former player who gets it.
And I think that's instant street credibility, if you will, right when you walk in the door. He's obviously had success. He's coached in a Super Bowl game. I was talking to James Laurinaitis yesterday. He said, as players, we all understand that everything that Jeff does is with the player's best interest in mind, and it's genuine, and we absolutely believe it because of Jeff's history and what he's been able to achieve.
A kind of attitude, and we saw it those years with Tennessee, a tough, tenacious, in-your-face physical defense.
Well, he came in, the first thing he did, he started with a 4-minute drill offensively. That was his first thing in terms of installation.
And that is what? When you have the football?
When you have the football at the end of games, and you got to win it by winning at the line of scrimmage. He said if we didn't start with it, there's no way we could ever finish with it.
Got to know how to end the game. And so far the Rams are in a battle here, tied at 13. Underneath and drops. Kevin Smith. After a timeout, that's what the Lions came away with. So it's 4th down. They're now 4 for 8 on 3rd down.
And you got to love the fact that Matthew Stafford, with time, had to check it down. And that tells me that there was pretty good coverage on the back end. Janoris Jenkins came on a blitz, and they were still able to cover up all the wide receivers deep. And Matthew had to check it down to his running back, who dropped it.
Kenny Amendola back to receive the punt of Ben Graham. Just over a minute left in the 3rd quarter, and the Rams will have the football. The Australian style punter gets it out of there, but starting deep in Ram territory. Inside the 10, Sam Bradford and Steven Jackson will take over. Well, it's opening Sunday, and this one everybody thought would be the championship game of the NFC last year. It's coming up next. America's Game of the Week. The 49ers and the Packers from Lambeau Field. Aaron Rodgers, who was drafted after Alex Smith. Quite a matchup there. Some will see the Panthers and Buccaneers and rookie quarterback Russell Wilson as the Seahawks go up against John Skelton and the Cardinals. But here, the story is Matthew Stafford, who was so good last year with 41 touchdowns and 5,000 yards. 3 interceptions so far today.
Oh, wow.
Let's get an update, and here's Patrick O'Neill.
To Soldier Field, Chicago, Indianapolis. I guess Matt Forte was tired of Michael Bush taking all of his touchdowns. He does it himself. Bears go up 31-14. Colts fumble the kickoff, and the Bears tack on a field goal. Chris and Tim, back to you.
Thanks, Patrick.
Yeah, that's the preseason versus the regular season, a whole different animal, and I think Andrew Luck's figuring that out.
2nd down 4.
Kill, express, single, set up.
Jackson carries again. And look at him fighting for the first down. You were wowed by his previous
Well,
carry.
the play two plays ago, he absolutely just ejected out of the pile a Lions defender. That guy is relentless in his rushing style and his ambition to not quit.
7 straight 1,000-yard seasons, the all-time leading rusher, and he's just thinking about getting out of Detroit with a win. It's the end of the third quarter. The Rams and Lions are tied at 13. Ford Field, the Lions and the Rams working on a huge upset. Right now tied with the team that went to the playoffs last year. Tim Ryan, Jimmy Maggio, Chris Myers, and we're glad you're with us as Jackson carries on first down. His 14th carry of the game. He's also caught 4 passes.
And he is the focal point of their game plan, obviously. He's the best player on the team. And I think what Steven Jackson's got to be excited about is the difference he's going to see in this defense, not just today, but all year long, which is going to effectively keep him the focal point every week in the game plan, both as a runner and as a receiver. They get down 21 points. His game pretty much goes out the window. Big story of last year.
20. Wide 20 out.
The ball's out. Bradford's down. The Lions got there first. Let's see if they held on to it. Corey Williams forced the fumble on Bradford. 3rd sack of the day by the Lions.
And it looked like from up here he was over the left guard, Rokavius Watkins, the rookie 5th-round pick, who's now in the game because of the injury to Scott Wells.
And Harvey Dahl came up with it for the Rams, a big recovery.
And there is Corey Williams, and he is on the rookie guard. Look at all the space, and look at a 330-pound man be able to turn the corner, stay on his feet, and finish while he knocks the ball out. And look at the ability to run the hoop, turn the corner, have the presence of mind, not just that I'm there and I'm excited to be here, but to knock the football out at the same time. Impressive.
3rd and 16. They're going to run it. Isaiah Peed, the rookie, gets out across the 20-yard line. It'll be 4th down. Stephen Tulloch making sure the Rams are forced into a punting situation. You talked about the Lions' comebacks during the course of last season. Well, here they don't trail, but it certainly feels that way.
Yeah, they have got explosive firepower and can score in a hurry. Heck, I think their last preseason game this year was 28 points in the first quarter. But I'm telling you, there's the story right now in the second half. That defensive line for the Lions is controlling the line of scrimmage and then some.
Hecker with the boot, backing up Logan to the 20. Rams special teams bring him down back at the 15-yard line. Here's a flag down at the 44 of the Lions, a 58-yard punt. Lions have only been called for 2 penalties in this game. They missed a golden opportunity on that fumble. They have yet to grab a turnover.
Well, I know this. Jonte Green's helmet came off on the field. He just went back and retrieved it. Special teams cover man, the rookie for the Lions.
Rams have been penalized 7 times.
During the kick, holding receiving team number 36. 10-yard penalty is half the distance. First down, timeout.
So it's on Jonte Green of the Lions.
He's just facing up the, as you like to call them, the gunners. Rookie on rookie. And to hang on in the process, gets his hat ripped off.
Here in Detroit, we're tied at 13. At Ford Field, tied at 13. The Lions a first down from their own 8-yard line. Stafford dropped by Kevin Smith. And you made a point earlier about drops by Pettigrew that could have been a touchdown, and Tony Scheffler that could have been a big first down.
Yeah, that's the first thing that needs to happen is guys need to make plays. When Matthew Stafford does throw a good ball, the guys have to make catches. And then number 2, I think especially early in this game with the 3 picks, Matthew Stafford was confused, in my opinion, at some of the coverages he was looking at after the ball was snapped. A good way to help yourself there is cluster up your wide receivers. Get everybody bunched up in one spot, which is really going to force the defense into a generic zone coverage. Good indicator for the quarterback.
35th pass attempt today for Stafford, and that goes nowhere. In the second half of this game, no catches for Calvin Johnson, Brandon Pettigrew, or Tony Scheffler. And now it's 3rd down and 10.
And I think when you look at the score, 13-13, tied up here in the 4th quarter, Matthew told us the other day he's going to throw where the coverage dictates. And they're trying to drive it down the field, and they're trying to get the guys down the seams. You know, when it's been there, the guys haven't been able to make catches. But like I said, cluster up your wide receivers, get a generic coverage, make it easy pitch and catch, and work your way down the field.
Off his hands, and Craig Dahl, did he hang on? No. Dahl had a chance at the interception after Pettigrew couldn't hold on. And Jeff Fisher's defense does the job. A 3 and out in this critical 4th quarter.
Well, and on those 3rd and longs, they've given the Lions opportunities to make plays with playing all the deep coverage, almost in a prevent look, hoping to rally up in front of the 1st down marks to get the tackle. And a couple of times, receivers have been wide open, running across the zones and dropped the ball.
Amendola. Rams will have excellent field position as he makes a move to get back to the 46.5-yard line, already in Lions territory where Will Heller made the special teams play. So a great opportunity for Sam Bradford and the Rams to break out of this tie. Lions rookie corner Bill Bentley with an injury. Jacob Lacey will be his replacement. Went to the same high school as Janoris Jenkins, the rookie for the Rams, who had an interception earlier in Pahokee, Florida. First down for the Rams. Amendola inside the 45. Sam Bradford 10 out of 16. He's been sacked a couple of times.
Well, they're going to run this little reverse. They're not going to fool Kyle Vandenbosch. They're hoping that he crashes down the line of scrimmage. But watch Kyle keep his shoulders square to the line, square to the line. Now he can turn, flatten out, get down the line of scrimmage, force Amendola to cut back inside before he gets a big gain. That is a big-time play.
Pro Bowl play from a 3-time Pro Bowler. Drayton Florence comes in with a big play in the first half as Jackson carries. And Steven Jackson gets inside the 40. It'll bring up 3rd and short for the Rams.
Boy, he runs hard. Caught Detroit in a stunt up front where they were crashing the defensive line down inside, and Ndamukong Suh almost had him in the backfield. Typically, big number 90 grabs anybody with one arm, they're going down. It's Steven Jackson.
In a game like this, you got a rookie kicker who's 2 for 2 in Greg Zuerlein, and you're facing a 3rd and 3. Complete to Steve Smith for a first down inside the Detroit 25-yard line.
Well, that's the set I was talking about that the Lions should go with in terms of the little bunch set, bunching up your wide receivers, make it easy for your quarterback, and this is a bust in coverage. Steve Smith, whoever had inside coverage, typically when defenders try to defend that bunch route or 3 receivers together, got guys that have inside coverage, middle coverage, and outside coverage. The inside guy totally whiffed on his assignment, and Steve Smith made him pay.
His first catch as a Ram. Steven Jackson carries. Steve Smith helping out a redeveloping receiver core. Let's check in on that injury with Bill Bentley. Head down to the field and Jamie Maggio.
All right, thanks, Chris. They're telling me that Bill Bentley's been shaken up. They've taken him into the locker room for evaluation. At this point, his return is questionable.
The NFL has a procedure in place, very cautious if they believe it is at all related to concussion-like symptoms.
I'll be shocked, Chris, if he comes back. I saw the trainer give a thumbs down to the coaching staff on the sideline on Bill Bentley.
Drayton Florence, the veteran corner, just picked up on 2nd and 9 in the secondary. Bradford floating it for Gibson. Brandon Gibson, did he hold on? Touchdown! Beautifully thrown by Sam Bradford.
Well, and with the injury on the field, Roger Saffold out there, the left tackle for the Rams.
And an automatic confirmation of a scoring play, but concerned about the injury. Already that offensive line beat up. Sam Bradford delivering the touchdown toss to Gibson.
Well, with the injury to Bill Bentley, it puts another rookie on the field in Jonte Green. Look at the catch here by Brandon Gibson. Jonte Green is trying like crazy to rip those arms apart and separate him from the ball. Look at the hand strength of Brandon Gibson just to hold on to it as he goes down to the ground into the end zone. Keep it up off the ground. The ball never moved. He never lost possession. That's a terrific catch.
We are witnessing a revival of the Rams under Jeff Fisher. Battling the Detroit Lions and the injury on the offensive line to Roger Saffold. Already 2 linemen inactive when the day started for Jeff Fisher's team. Meanwhile, Brandon Gibson, briefly with the Eagles, his 4th year at Washington State, was with the team last year, but coming up with his touchdown catch to give the Rams the lead pending the extra point. You're watching the NFL on Fox from Ford Field. Fourth quarter here with the Rams and Lions. Roger Saffold, the 24-year-old left tackle, went down on the play as they help him up from the field.
Yeah, and it's really hard to speculate on what happened here as he's on John Wendling. There he is at left tackle blocking a safety, and watches as Wendling keeps his underhook in there, and now Roger Saffold's going to turn to the right and hits his head right there on the back of Sammy Hill, and then he just goes down. So if I was going to speculate on anything, and the way they've got him on the gurney out here and all the medical staff that's on the field, it looked like in an awkward position. And when he hit the back of Sammy Hill, maybe something in his neck got tweaked.
They are very careful to move him at all. They have him on a stretcher to put him up on the cart. The Rams' Scott Wells, Pro Bowl center, injured earlier, so Rob Turner went from guard to center. And rookie Rickavius Watkins in at left guard as the Rams show some unity and support for their injured player.
Well, and they've only had 3 tackles now up offensively. So Wayne Hunter, who they acquired from the Jets, there he is when they traded Jason Smith off to New York for Wayne Hunter. He's going to have to step in and be the tackle now. There's Scott Wells, who hurt his foot earlier in the game.
The offensive line has been an issue for the Rams for years. And here an injury in an area already decimated today. And our thoughts are with Roger Saffold.
Tell you, it makes the pickup off the waiver wire of Titan Secchi look pretty good. And I know he's inactive today, but I think they got some high hopes for him as a tackle prospect in the future.
Let's get an update on some games around the league.
Well, while you guys are watching them attend to Saffold, we will check in with the Jets, who are giving it to the Buffalo Bills. Stephen Hill, his 2nd touchdown, 3rd touchdown pass of the day for Mark Sanchez. The Jets have scored 41 points, 41-14, early on in the 4th quarter. They're on top of Buffalo. Chris and Tim?
Thank you, Kurt Menefee, and they work with Saffold. Going back to the game on the field and Brandon Gibson's 5th career touchdown reception. A well-thrown ball by Sam Bradford.
I think that's what got lost in the translation and the analysis of the route and the catch from Brandon Gibson, that it was a terrific throw thrown right on the money by Sam Bradford.
In his 3rd year, 2nd-round draft pick from Indiana, Roger Saffold from Bedford, Ohio.
I think we should make the point, as bad as it looks, and obviously no idea how bad it is all that is cautionary in terms of immobilizing anybody with a neck injury and basically taping everything to the board so they can't move. So hopefully it's not as bad as it looks as they're taking them off here all taped down.
See Dean Kleinschmidt a longtime trainer in New Orleans with the Saints. Of course, he's been with the Lions here for years, making sure the staff helps take care of and assist the Rams left tackle Roger Saffold.
Feel bad for Roger. He worked so hard to improve his craft and improve his game. And last year, I mean, he tore a pec in the weight room at the end of the year, which was just buzzard's luck. And here to start the season like this, you got to feel really bad for the guy and all the work that he's put in to prepare himself.
So Jeff Fisher telling his team, let's finish the game. We have work to do. Extra point, Greg Zuerlein ready to try his second extra point, and he's also made 2 field goals. Again, the rookie from Missouri Western to give the Rams a 7-point fourth quarter lead. And this crowd, which was electric from the start, has been silenced.
Yeah, and the isolation route out on the perimeter, you got Brandon Gibson, very nice move, sticking it inside, getting to the outside on the rookie Jonte Green, outstanding throw, and then even a better catch. And just to go up and get it as Green's trying to separate him and get the ball out, never loses possession, keeps it up off the ground. Really, really impressive.
A 23-yard touchdown catch, the first touchdown for the Ram offense. Cortland Finnegan ran an interception back for an earlier score, and thus the field goals. Meanwhile, Matthew Stafford, and I know fantasy players around the country saying, wait a minute, he hadn't thrown a touchdown pass yet, because Stafford came into this game, Tim, having thrown at least 1 touchdown pass in 18 consecutive games.
Well, like I said, forget trying to run everybody deep down the seams and hitting checkdowns if nobody's open. Bunch up your wide receivers, make it easy for your quarterback, and there's plenty of time here for them just to methodically work their way down the field with a ball control throwing game.
And the Lions were such a comeback team last year, especially in the fourth quarter. And now that's what they'll have to do to pull this out in front of the home folks. 9:45 to play in regulation. Zuerlein bounces one that goes through and into the end zone. Logan will take it out at the 20-yard line. That's where Matthew Stafford and this offense go after 3 first-half interceptions.
And 2 of them in the red zone. And here he thought he had single coverage in a mismatch with Scheffler. He's able to jump in front of it. Here, Jolon Dunbar anticipates what the throw is going to be, undercuts the route, as did Cortland Finnegan. So what I think is the St. Louis Rams are baiting their coverages, knowing where Matthew Stafford is going to go based on their pre-snap coverage, and then post-snap they're jumping routes, and Matthew Stafford hasn't seen it on those 3 picks.
On first down, Calvin Johnson looking for his first reception in this half. Instead, they throw underneath to Pettigrew, and he gets across the 40 for a fresh set of downs. A 20-yard gain.
Like it. Nice easy play for your quarterback. Bootleg, get him out on the edge, put the weapon right in front of him, make it easy for Matthew Stafford to unload it to Pettigrew.
Stafford 23 out of 37, 233 yards. Again, no touchdowns and the 3 interceptions from the 40. And again, it's Pettigrew. And the 6'5" tight end gets another first down in Ram territory.
And did you see what they did? They motioned Calvin Johnson from the outside into really a stack position, kind of 2/3 what I was talking about in the bunch, and which really is going to force the Rams into his own coverage because of the fear of pick routes, right? When you stack receivers close to each other, the screen routes or the rub routes made it easy for Matt Stafford, and a little choice route, little out route by Brandon Pettigrew, wide open versus the zone.
You're talking a lot of routes. All I know is 2 plays, 38 yards. Stafford to Pettigrew. Kevin Smith with room up the middle. Inside the 30 of the Rams.
Well, watch the little block here. Block back, and then Peterman's going to pull around. Watch the block he gets on the linebacker, James Laurinaitis. Bang, there's the kick out block, which creates the running alley. for Kevin Smith. Peterman 66, bang. Nice running alley straight downhill to the middle part of the Rams defense.
Maybe the Ram defense tiring a bit after a gain of 13. Stafford. Complete. That's Pettigrew. Brandon Pettigrew inside the 5 of the Rams.
I love it. Right after a big play to Kevin Smith, they fake a little handoff, play action, holds the linebacker. Let's watch the linebacker right here as the tight end gets behind him. Excuse me, the tight end was inside. Did you see the linebacker, Joe Dunbar, step up on the play action, which opened the window for Brandon Pettigrew?
They hurry to the line without a huddle after a 24-yard gain. Kevin Smith on 1st and goal into the end zone for the Lions. Second touchdown on the ground for the Lions as Kevin Smith puts Detroit in position for a 4th quarter tie. Here is Hanson's extra point try. It's 20-20.
Well, Kevin Smith will get all the credit. Watch the blocks up front. Steven Peterman once again, the right guard, absolutely perfect. Dominic Raiola wasn't bad either. Well done.
An impressive 80-yard drive in less than 2.5 minutes as Kevin Smith gets into the end zone, and just like that, the Lions are tied with the Rams at 20 apiece.
Yeah, you see the catalyst there, though. Brandon Pettigrew with the 3 catches. What a great and timely play call by Scott Linehan after the big pop to run some play pass, play action, find a wide open Pettigrew down the seam.
And the Rams don't want to be in a scoring affair with this team. Hanson for the end zone. And he'll down and come out on the 20. It's been an exciting opening day here at Ford Field, and we're not done yet. Now they're hollering for the defense in Detroit. It'll be 2nd down. Encouraging news. We get word from the Rams there is some sensation in the extremities for Roger Saffold, who was carted off. And we certainly wish him a healthy recovery.
Yeah, well, that's great news. It's great news for Roger Saffold.
Just over 7 minutes to play. Jeff Fisher, can his Rams stay with these Lions and pull off a major opening day upset? That's complete. Right across the 30 is Mike McNeil, the 3rd tight end.
Well, and I think in Jeff's mind, he knows he's got to get points, but he knows he's got to move it down the field slowly. And we talked about that 4-minute drill, and it doesn't always mean just running the football. But I think you're going to see him do a nice mix of keeping that clock going, forcing the Detroit Lions, still with 6 minutes to go, to start using some of those 2 timeouts left. You certainly won't want to get points too early, with their offense starting to catch fire in Detroit here.
And you want to play keep away from Matthew Stafford and the Lions as best you can after Jackson carries.
You just keep chewing this baby up right here when you look at that clock continuing to tick. Not being a 4-minute drill, we call it a 7-minute drill here for Jeff Fisher and his football team. And then you see the timeouts, the red little lights underneath, 3 for the Rams, 2 left for the Detroit Lions.
Brandon Gibson hauls it in and slips away. It looks like he fought it up to get a 1st down.
Well, he better have, since he went out of bounds. And when you go out of bounds, as you know, you stop the clock. So
it is a first down as Brian Schottenheimer.
Good. Now they'll wind it.
Calling the plays for this Ram offense, countering defensive coordinator and longtime coach Gunther Cunningham of the Lions defense.
I think Gunther, be ready for a double move here now. And I know they're going to methodically run it and have the short passing game, but Steve Smith's their best double move player in terms of the receiver.
Jackson takes the pitch and is thrown down short of the 45-yard line. Clock continues to run. DeAndre Levy making the tackle. Jim Schwartz said he owed everything in the NFL to Bill Belichick and Jeff Fisher. Belichick gave him the start, but Fisher gave him responsibility as a coach. An assistant at Tennessee, then defensive coordinator, and what he's done in Detroit from 0-16 to a playoff team. Jackson. He's still on his feet fighting for every inch, if he even got a yard. Kyle Vanden Bosch was in the mix. And Vanden Bosch, when you hear about a working man's kind of player, a blue-collar guy, it applies.
He's all blue-collar. That guy was doing concrete at 14 years old. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's an 8th player out here. They have got 8 guys in the box for a 6-man running attack. There's 3 guys manned up out on the edge. Because they want to chew the clock, the Rams elected to continue to run it right into the teeth of extra men on defense in the running box.
Complete to Amendola on 3rd and 5. A clutch catch at the 40 for a Ram first down in Lions territory.
Well, how impressive the offensive line, giving Sam Bradford enough time for that play to develop downfield. They got 2 backups that are playing out there against this group from the Detroit Lions. Maybe the best in the league. He had well over 3 seconds to let that play develop. It's window shopping in those zones for Danny Amendola. That was too easy without pressure.
Jim Schwartz, that's where all the money is on this defensive line. That's supposed to be the tone setter for the Lions defense, and they do it there when Jackson carries. But when they needed him on 3rd down, the Rams won that battle. 3:30 to play.
Well, and think about this kicker who kicked 4 out of 5 over 50 yards in the preseason. I think 1 of 59 yards, right?
He made a 62-yarder in practice, and in his college career, Greg Zuerlein 9 out of 9 from beyond 50. They call him the freak in a good way.
D-line's got to get a sack here. Push him back.
Time for Bradford, whose throw on the sideline is hauled in. And the catch is made by Brandon Gibson, who has become the 4th quarter clutch catcher for Bradford.
Yeah, how about that throw as he hitch and pumps once and then just throws a laser out to the edge. Caught in bounds by Brandon Gibson.
An 11-yard pickup inside the 30.
Tell you, well done, Chris, by that offensive line. And there was a little pressure on the outside, but Sam elected to step up into a little window and unloaded a strike.
10th play of this drive. Jackson will lose a yard. Justin Durant wrapped him up. But the clock continues to run, and the Rams already in field goal range. We're going to have a timeout.
Yeah, there it is.
Detroit will have 1 remaining. And they'll have the 2-minute warning as well. There's Greg Zuerlein, who taught himself to kick.
How about Jeff Fisher starting his first day of installation with his football team with the 4-minute, let's play keep away, let's get a couple first downs, learn how to win games at the end. That's how he starts everything in St. Louis. And wouldn't you know it, his MO and as he sees it is all coming to fruition for his football team so far in this game.
Yeah, he said if you don't know how to finish, you'll never know how to start. Well, he's starting something good in St. Louis for the Rams here at Ford Field. Second down, 12. We'll have the 2-minute warning, and Jim Schwartz will have one more timeout. Rams have all 3 of theirs. Bradford has not turned the ball over today. He was hit hard enough to lose a fumble, but the Rams recovered it.
I'll be shocked if they throw the ball again before they attempt the field goal. Shocked.
Right now you're looking at a 48-yarder in that range, 49-yard field goal. But they'll have 2 downs to improve upon that. Keeps and slides. Don't think he wanted to go out of bounds.
He definitely didn't want to go out of bounds, and they're going to keep the clock going here. He stayed in bounds. A great decision not to unload the ball and throw it away and stop the clock. I think he wanted to throw a little screen. It's like a little extension of the run game to Steven Jackson. Elected not to do it. Steven was covered. Very smart in keeping it in bounds. Good decision by Sam Bradford.
We're going to let the clock run. It's 3rd down. We'll see if they want a timeout just before, and Jeff Fisher indicates. He was called a great game manager by Kyle Vanden Bosch of the Lions, who played for him for years in Tennessee. He said nobody manages a game like Jeff Fisher from the end of the game forward.
Yeah, that comes with a lot of experience, and it's no joke. Jeff is really, really bright.
Saturday, another great week of college football on Fox. The pregame show gets things started. And then you'll see Heisman Trophy candidate Matt Barkley and second-ranked USC take on Stanford. It's the Pac-12 opener for both teams. Pregame show and all the highlights of the other games on Fox College Football. Saturday begins at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. We hope you join us then. And here, after a season in which the NFL set a record for team scoring points, Jeff Fisher brings some old school football to Ford Field. 3rd and 9. Incomplete.
I don't get that. I don't get that, to be honest with you. I had it turned and handed it to Steven Jackson, and hopefully he picks up a yard or 2.
Right at the 2-minute warning. The student, Jim Schwartz. The teacher, Jeff Fisher. We're tied at 20. Jeff Fisher facing a 4th down with 2 minutes to play here in Detroit will turn to his rookie place kicker, Greg Zuerlein. The holder, the rookie, Johnny Hecker. The long snapper, Jake McQuaid, in his 2nd year. From 46 yards away. He's made from 48 and 29 today. And the rookie nails it to give the Rams a 3-point lead with just under 2 minutes to play.
And you know what? Going back to that last play where they did throw it, I stand corrected and just understanding the game situation. And Jeff's a lot smarter than me, but knowing that there was the 2-minute warning and automatic clock stoppage, obviously he made the decision to throw the ball, and it wasn't a bad one.
He knew he had the kicker, even though he's a rookie. He's a guy who, as you pointed out at the top of the broadcast, Jeff Fisher told us at our meeting last night, he's gonna set records. And he'll set St. Louis on its ear if he can pull off this upset against Jim Schwartz and the Lions. So what a drive, almost 5.5 minutes, capped by Zuerlein, who's been clutch today, 3 out of 3. But the Lions aren't done yet. A comeback team last year with Matthew Stafford, Calvin Johnson, Brandon Pettigrew, who's been their leading receiver today, and 1 timeout remaining.
Calvin Johnson has not had a catch in the second half of this game. Are you kidding me?
Morgan will down it. Lions come out to the 20-yard line. Calvin Johnson had 4 catches in the first half. How have the Lions been able to keep him out of the end zone today?
Well, I think a big thing with Calvin is they've had 2 guys on him most of the day. And Matthew Stafford told us he's going to throw where coverage dictates. So he'll take shots to Calvin in double coverage. But there was a lot of other guys that were in man coverage open. And Stafford threw him the football, and it was either not a good throw or guys were not able to hold on.
So Stafford, who's made many a comeback, faces 5 defensive backs for the Rams. He has that 1 timeout with 1:55 to go. Calvin Johnson is right there at the 40, a first down. A 20-yard pickup. The power of Calvin.
And they've got the 1 timeout left, and they've got to work these sidelines now in the last 5 minutes of the game. Anything out of bounds stops the clock.
Quick throw and knocked loose. Good hit in the secondary by Bradley Fletcher. Pettigrew did not hold on to it. He had an earlier drop that could have been a touchdown.
And I think Pettigrew, in his mind, so ambitious to get to the sideline, didn't realize that there was a replaced defender out there as he was running through the zone. A lot of times, guys, as they understand his zone, they're just going to turn around and sit down right in that little void. If he wanted to get out of bounds, had his mind set on getting out of bounds, he just ran right into the defender who knocked the ball out.
Complete at the 40 of the Rams is Nate Burleson. Nobody's kicked more field goals beyond 50 yards in the NFL than Jason Hansen.
I think he's got 50 of them in his career, doesn't he? 50 50-yarders?
That is correct. That Scheffler does not get out of bounds or near the sideline. Remember, they have the 1 timeout and the clock runs with 50 and counting.
Boy, for a guy who has thrown 3 interceptions today and no touchdowns, he looks pretty calm, cool, and collected right now, Matthew Stafford.
Underneath, he kind of flips it like a short step to Kevin Smith, who has another first down.
They got to call a timeout.
In field goal range. Well in field goal range.
How about throwing from all platforms? You see that little sidearm slipper right out to his guy?
Let's take a look at the comebacks we have discussed throughout this game when it comes to Matthew Stafford and the Lions. Week 3 against the Vikings, then against the Cowboys, against Carolina, and week 15 at Oakland. Stafford leading the Lions on 4 game-winning drives in the 4th quarter or overtime. And here, he's trying to lead him to a tie or a victory. Bonus coverage of the Redskins and Saints and Robert Griffin III coming up if you stay with us on Fox. America's Game of the Week later when the 49ers and Packers go at it.
Matthew Stafford well over 300 yards throwing in this game. You know, I heard a lot of people when the season was over saying today's game with all the throwing and all the spread, 5,000 yards, not a huge feat. I can't disagree more with what he was able to put on the stat sheet last year.
Out of timeouts, so they have to be careful here. Jeff Fisher, youngest team in the league, 17 rookies on his roster. There's a throw and out of bounds is Scheffler. 30 seconds to play.
And look at what they did. Right to the bunch set that I was talking about, which makes it easy for the quarterback. Defense is going to have to line up in an inside-out zone coverage. And there's the 3 guys right there. Matthew knows right away. Look over at those guys running little trail routes. The outside receiver, Scheffler, wide open over near the boundary. Completion and stop the clock.
Now do you take a shot at the end zone here?
Why not?
2nd and 7. No timeouts. Stafford caught inside the 5 by Calvin Johnson, but no timeout, so they're going to have to run up, spike it, and get the field goal unit out with Hansen.
Yeah, they got to spike it.
6th catch of the game for Calvin Johnson.
And now I think you take a shot at the end zone. Now you take a shot at the end zone. It's second down. Try to win the game.
Well, it's first and goal. Second and goal, correction from the 5, but look at the clock.
Yeah, you take a shot in the end zone, it's a touchdown or it's an incomplete pass. You've got a couple of opportunities here, actually.
Jason Hanson is 2 for 2 today.
The worst thing that could ever happen is that you get sacked. Period.
He's been sacked once today by the Rams. Stafford flips, and that's a touchdown for the Lions. Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith, who had a drop earlier in the game, his 4th reception, a touchdown run and a touchdown catch with 10 seconds to light up the building.
Well, this is busted coverage. Here's Kevin Smith. He's going to leak out here. Joe Dunbar has him, but he peeks back inside. You got all the defenders running with the outside receiver. There was nobody within 10 yards of Kevin Smith.
And for all the work Jeff Fisher and this Ram team put into today's game, Stafford goes 7 of 9, over 80 yards, and now 19 consecutive NFL games. He's thrown at least 1 touchdown pass.
Chris, I think the confidence and having pelts on the wall from last year and the comeback wins, it was clear watching him on that final drive where his confidence level was, where his head was. He never flinched. And he just sat back and he read the coverage and he read the defenders that went with Calvin Johnson in the back of the end zone. And Kevin Smith from the dot position, not the offset position, which is interesting because the dot tells guys that it may be a run. Clearly it wasn't going to be a run, but he just slips out all by himself.
The pupil learned well. And the Rams with 10 seconds, trailing now by 4 after leading much of this game. You talk about experience, home field advantage, and a quarterback-driven league. That's how Stafford, the Lions, took this game to a 27-23 advantage. Isaiah Pete will not bring it out. This is a Mike Burks production. Our director, Mike Frank. James Petralka, Michigan grad, former Detroit Lion PR assistant, helping us in the booth. Associate director, Brian Biederman. Broadcast associate is Alex Strand. Studio show produced by Bill Richards, directed by Bob Levy. Well, it's a different Ram team with Jeff Fisher, regardless of what the one-loss record will show after today.
No, I think if you're a Rams fan, you've got to be inspired by what you saw here today against a very powerful Detroit football team.
Bradford completes to Danny Amendola, who's going to try and flip it as the clock runs. They have a timeout that they can use here. And the clock, they say, still has time. Let's see if they sort it out.
Timeout, St. Louis.
2 seconds.
Second charge timeout. 30-second timeout. Reset the game clock to 2 seconds.
And also, I think as a Rams fan, in terms of being inspired, you know with Jeff's style and his intelligence and his ability to coach and coach situations and the way they like to run the ball, they're going to be in virtually every game this year that's going to come down to the end. And that's really all you can ask for. Have a chance to be in it, have a chance to win it at the end. Today it looks like they're going to fall short. Rams will be at home against the Redskins. You'll see it on Fox next Sunday. Meanwhile, Jim Schwartz doesn't get any easier Sunday night against the 49ers. And that handshake guy, Jim Harbaugh. And did you hear what he's just yelling at his team? Stay home, which means stay in your position. Don't try to go to do somebody else's job. Trust the guy next to you deep in coverage that he'll stay in his position. Everybody stay home.
Jeff Fisher said that Schwartz would not call off the dogs. And Fisher said he wouldn't wave the white flag. Oh, but it's over now. Exclamation point from Jim Schwartz and the Lions, who rallied to beat Jeff Fisher and the Rams. 27-23 the final. A terrific opening day performance here at Ford Field as Schwartz is no doubt looking for Jeff Fisher, and there he is. For Tim Ryan, I'm Chris Myers. Thanks for watching. Let's head down to Kurt Menefee.